GameSpot TV. We go to Texas to find out why hundreds of hardcore Quake fans gave up sleep, showers, and the comfort of their living rooms. And we have backflips, front flips, ollies, grinds, and the Judo Madonna in our review of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Plus, we have a strategy guide for Quake 3. John Carmack gives us his tips for fragging your friends. So stick around. It's game time. Would you drive 13 hours straight to Texas for a chance to play the latest text versions of Quake 3 Arena? As long as there's running water in my room, I think I would. Hi, I'm Dash, and welcome to GameSpot TV. This year's QuakeCon 99 did not disappoint. GameSpot TV found out that there's more to this event than winning prizes.
Bye-bye.
It was a pilgrimage of sorts.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Last August, QuakeCon 99 became the gaming mecca for over 1,000 PC gamers itching to play the latest test versions of Quake 3 Arena in a multiplayer LAN battle.
All right, let's just pack it up right over here.
Sponsored by id Software, CEO Todd Hollinshead said QuakeCon events give them a chance to meet players face to face.
It's really just a way for id Software to give something back to the fans. We've got a lot of supporters out there, and this is really an event just to show off what we're working on right now, to give people an opportunity to come together and play together.
Besides playing, QuakeCon 99 participants had the chance to compete against and worship Doom and Quake creator John Carmack.
I still do like doing games that are easy to pick up, you know, that people can just sit down and play. And a very large part of it is because I don't have the time to be obsessive about a game, you know, to go in and like learn all this. I want a game that I can jump in and have a good time playing, you know, play for 5 or 10 minutes or something and get out of it.
Held annually in Mesquite, Texas since 1996, QuakeCon fans braved the desert heat and traveled from hundreds of miles away.
I heard about QuakeCon about 6 months ago, got registered, got lucky to be one of the first 1,000, called up my buddies and said, let's go down there. I'll drive. We drove 27 hours straight from Vegas, 1,300 miles to get here. And we're having the greatest time of our lives.
It's really big in the UK. I say it's, you know, it's only a small country, but there's a lot of people playing. We've got so many leagues, and we've got people playing all the time.
Sue Joy and the rest of his 1,000 playmates brought their own computers and paid their own way to participate in the events, test their Quake skills, and maybe win prizes. For some, it was a 3-day all-play, no-sleep, no-shower marathon. For others, it was a test of mettle and hygiene endurance.
They're kind of new to it, so they're not quite seasoned enough to, you know, be able to hang. But, you know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so you sacrifice.
Look at it! Look at it! And contrary to popular misconception, most QuakeCon players say that the main reason they attend QuakeCon is not to kill or learn how to kill, but to meet friends and create new ones.
A lot of my friends are coming here, so I'm here kind of to meet them. We know each other over the internet almost exclusively, so getting a chance to come together and actually shake hands is nice.
But amidst this sea of network computers, cables, and players, the biggest disparity we observed was the lack of female competitors. Out of the 500 people competing in the tourneys, we found one, Cornelia.
There are a lot of females who play Quake. I don't know why they didn't sign up for the tournament. Actually, I was the only one who played.
Cornelia was no lightweight. She made it to the intense finals, a spot most of the guys can only dream of.
All these people right here.
And after 3 days of competition, 510 were eliminated, and only the top 2 were left. Die Hard and 1134 Bane. A rocket launch signaled the start of intense action.
Can you back up a little, please?
Stay calm, stay calm.
Yes! After an impressive 15-minute frag fest, Die Hard from Canada came out the victor. The secret, he says, was mental focus.
Basically controlling all the armor and trying to win every battle. Basically not trying to do my best with my aim. That was my key.
The QuakeCon 99 experience is difficult to put into words, unless you're one of the articulate few who has the gift. The most popular remark?
QuakeCon rocks ass.
I guess that covers it.
QuakeCon winner, Die Hard, won a nice trophy, a cool leather jacket with the Quake logo on the back, and a tour of id headquarters in Mesquite, Texas. And while we were at QuakeCon, we picked up a few strategies from the players and John Carmack, which we'll have later on in the show. But before that, let's check the game news.
In this week's game news, Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, is said to be hosting an upcoming television game show based on the Berkeley Systems You Don't Know Jack trivia game series. No word yet as to which network will carry the show. Are you feeling impotent when it comes to training your pocket monster? Toys R Us is now offering free 6-week training sessions for kids who want to master their Pokemon. Kids can learn from more experienced players or become instructors themselves. Nintendo has reported it expects to lose nearly $475 million in the first half of the next business year due to price drops of the N64 in the U.S. and a delay in upcoming Game Boy games. Could this mean a delay in their next-generation console system, the Dolphin? And pay attention, mech fans. Hasbro Interactive and MSN Gaming Zone are hosting a Mech Warrior 3 competition at the end of this month. 2-player teams will battle it out online for prizes, including 2 Harley-Davidson motorcycles.
If you want to find out what's up in the gaming world, go to the news sections of the GameSpot and VideoGames.com websites. And if you want extensive Quake coverage, go to the GameSpot TV website. There you'll find real video of QuakeCon, as well as an in-depth interview with id Software big man, John Carmack. Coming up on GameSpot TV, we check out Speed Devil, the arcade-style racing game for the Dreamcast. And there's more Quake 3 action to come. We have strategies from the master himself, John Carmack. Welcome back. Are you a fan of conspiracies and black ops? Well, our next game is sure to have you watching your back. Here's an early sneak peek at Ion Storm's Deus Ex.
Warren Spector, the game designer who brought us the classic role-playing game Ultima Underworld and the cult classic System Shock, is working on something new. Deus Ex takes place in a dark and dismal world full of secrets and conspiracies. It's Earth 2052. You are a rookie agent named J.C. Denton, who's been enhanced with nanobots and works for the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition.
He's fresh out of the academy, thinks he knows what's right and what's wrong. Starts working for an anti-terrorist agency and quickly discovers that the world is very much shades of gray and black and white really doesn't apply. And as he explores that world of gray, he discovers that the agency he works for is really the tip of a conspiratorial iceberg. And as he gets deeper into that world, the conspirators start, finding him a little dangerous.
Deus Ex is a first-person role-playing game, and your player skills are very important. Players will be able to choose from over a dozen different skills. The more you use a skill, the more points you can use towards your next skill level.
And you can be stealth boy, lock-picking lad, and demolitions dude, and those choices are expressible in the game world too. And the choices allow us to solve the same game problems in very different ways. And what that means is I can tell a completely linear story, which means I can tell a good story. But the minute-to-minute gameplay is completely different for every player.
Using the Unreal Engine, the Deus Ex team plans to keep the world small but extremely detailed. So when you're walking through Hong Kong, don't be surprised when it really feels like the Hong Kong you know.
We actually did get blueprints of the Statue of Liberty in the White House, and we're building them as realistically and as believably as it is possible.
Conspiracy fans can look forward to Deus Ex when it's released next summer.
Futuristic, but without any conspiracies or discernible plot, is the Wipeout series. Wipeout XL is considered to be the apex of futuristic racing. So how will Wipeout 3 fare?
There was a time when the folks at Psygnosis weren't sure if Wipeout would return to the PlayStation, but with the advent of the analog controller, the PlayStation code optimization utilities, and some imagination, Wipeout 3 is here on the aging system. Once again, the game involves futuristic racing with sleek anti-gravity hovercrafts on some very windy courses. The game has offered a new element called the Hyper Thrust. By hitting the R1 button, your craft can achieve incredible speeds. But it drains shield energy to do so and makes you more vulnerable to crashing or being blown up by opponents. This balance between thrust and shield is the first main difference between Wipeout 3 and its predecessors. The next difference is in the difficulty level. The first tournament is so easy, you can beat it without ever using the hyper thrust or a weapon. The second tournament then becomes unbelievably hard. The learning curve in the first two games was gradual, But in Wipeout 3, there's no middle ground. You can hone your skills for the difficult tracks by playing the challenge mode, which has race, weapon, and time categories. It's almost more enjoyable than the main game, and it's almost necessary in order to complete it. The two-player game has improved by allowing split-screen play. It's a fantastic addition that allows for a huge amount of replay value. The graphics are a little grainier, but there's no pop-up at all in single player. And while the soundtrack isn't as good as the incredible one for Wipeout XL, it's a doozer nonetheless. While the series seems to be moving from an arcade racer to something brainier, Wipeout 3 should appeal to longtime fans of the series who are looking for a new challenge, although it may alienate new players with its difficulty. Joe Fielder from VideoGames.com gives it an 8.3 out of 10.
From futuristic racing combat to good old-fashioned four-wheeled competitive driving, we're about to take a gander at the first automotive racing game for the Dreamcast. We've seen boats and hoverboards, but what about the car?
Speed Devils, the Ultra Dreamcast version of Ubisoft's Speed Busters for the PC, is in the same style of arcade racers as Midway's Cruisin' series and California Speed, except it doesn't suck. In Speed Devils, you play as a hotshot racer who has been sponsored by a mysterious benefactor who gives you money for a car to start with and then shows up throughout the game to set various tasks. You race through a series of progressively difficult tournaments, which you compete in for prize money. Money is awarded for placement, highest speed, and time spent in the lead. You can also win money for exceeding the speed limit on certain stretches of road. Your opponents will also wager on races for money, your car, or theirs. The money you win can be used to buy new parts for your car, or buy a new car, but much of it will be spent on repairing the damage from the previous race. The game's graphics are fantastic. Each car comes with a dozen distinct paint jobs, and each course has at least 3 different elements working against or around you, such as weather conditions and unsolicited projectiles. The game is pop-up free and can only be faulted for cars that seem to float over the track and never seem to get dirty. The real problem with the game is the multiplayer. It caps out at 2 players. You can't use cars you built up in the tournament mode, and there's no computer-controlled cars to join in. While this does impact the replay value of Speed Devils, it still has an excellent single-player game that sucks you in. Joe Fielder from VideoGames.com gives it an 8.2 out of 10.
System Shock 2 is a sci-fi role-playing game with plenty of bad guys. Here are a few cheats, because we can all use a little help battling mutants and insane computers.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier.
No matter who you choose to be in the beginning of System Shock 2, you can get free items with these codes. To enter codes, press and hold the Shift and semicolon keys and enter the following into the console. Running out of nanites? Type in summon OBJ 20 nanites and you will soon be the richest person on the Von Braun. And you can enter summon OBJ Psi Pistol and you can protect yourself with the pistol. And if you're not a Psi, or you are and misplaced your Psi amp, you can get one by entering Summon OBJ Psi Amp to blast away those evil hybrids.
If you want more cheat codes, go to our website and look in the Game Help section. And take our first-person shooter poll. With all the games on the market, who blows away the competition? Quake 3? Half-Life? Unreal Tournament? You decide. Coming up on GameSpot TV, we have a review of the follow-up to Rainbow Six. Rogue Spear pits the Rainbow team against a new wave of terror. And Bond is back. We join him in his latest adventure in our preview of Tomorrow Never Dies, when GameSpot TV returns. Welcome back. Well, just in time for the release of the new Bond film, the game from the last film is about to hit the shelves. It's Tomorrow Never Dies, and we have a preview.
While the temptation does exist to compare Tomorrow Never Dies with GoldenEye 007, it's not sensible. For starters, it's on a different system, the PlayStation, and it's styled more like Siphon Filter in its gameplay. Developer Black Ops has taken an unorthodox approach and starts the game after the movie ends in order to maintain the mystery elements of a good Bond film, where you slowly piece together the tyrannical machinations of a madman. The game will include 10 missions that take advantage of the globe-spanning, world-saving skills of the debonair hero, and includes truly Bond-esque scenes, such as a ski chase down the lovely slopes of Russia. Videogames.com recently received the latest build of the game and found it to have good detail, dexterous enemies, and nice lighting effects. The AI and some camera movements still showed problems, but there's time to work that out before Tomorrow Never Dies hits the shelves.
And now, stepping away from 007 and into the arcade, we fast forward in time to a futuristic Los Angeles.
We're at the Wonder Park in Milpitas, California, and we're checking out Sega's LA Machine Guns.
Set in a futuristic Los Angeles, LA Machine Guns places you on the side of a helicopter gunship. You play a machine gunner whose mission is to save the president from kidnappers. The enemies range from soldiers in jetpacks to whole ships, and the intensity of the fights help to make the game interesting. The difficulty level is selectable from the start, so while there are only 4 levels, it does have replay potential. Flying low through the streets of Los Angeles has never been so much fun or graphically interesting. Sega went all out to make this a very good-looking game. The hardware works to keep frame rates high, even with an immense amount of moving objects on screen.
LA Machine Guns Thank you. LA Machine Guns features intense force feedback both in the gun and also the platform. So no matter how good the rumble technology gets on the home consoles, it'll never compare to the experience you get in the arcade.
The rumble technology, coupled with the great audio of rattling guns and explosions, definitely makes this an attractive play. But firing a machine gun that never runs out of bullets can get boring. There's little strategy other than aiming true, as movement through the environment is dictated by computer-driven helicopter and not by the player.
You might have a little trouble finding the game at your local arcade, but if you're looking for mindless action, you can't do much better than LA Machine Guns.
While action-crazed shoot-'em-ups have been a perennial favorite over the last few years, squad-based action games have become quite popular. And Red Storm Entertainment's Rainbow Six really set the tone for a genre that combines stealth, strategy, and suspense. So here's our review of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear.
Let's get back in one piece.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six was a unique game that won over many people despite its noticeable flaws. And now with Rogue Spear, Red Storm Entertainment has created a sequel in many ways superior to the original, but not without its problems. The gameplay is very much like the original. You're given a mission, you choose your squad, and then you play your mission. While planning the mission, players can now see the map with an improved 3D view. But even with the new 3D view, you really don't get a good feel for the operation area. And this time, with improved character animation, the 3D models not only look better, but their movements are more lifelike. Your team members can now move in a crouched position and limp when wounded. Players will also be able to crouch and peek around corners, which is quite helpful when trying to be stealthy, and look into rooms before entering them. And be prepared to be stealthy. Red Storm has significantly fine-tuned the enemy AI. Terrorists act more realistically to everything that happens around them. They also have faster reaction times and are excellent shots. Overall, while Rogue Spear does have some problems, it does retain the original game's unique charm and style. The new features are really good, especially the addition of snipers and crouch movement. Michael Ryan of GameSpot.com gave Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear a rating of 8 out of 10.
Mission failure. Your team was wiped out.
Coming up on GameSpot TV, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater has been released, and it's the bomb. We flip, ollie, and grind in our review. And we got the tips straight from the legend himself. John Carmack gives us strategies for Quake 3. All this and more when GameSpot TV returns. Welcome back. Between Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Rockstar Games' upcoming title, Thrasher, Skate and Destroy, it looks like we're in the middle of a skateboarding renaissance. Here's a review of the first one off the rail.
Between Tony Hawk and Rockstar's upcoming Thrasher, Skate and Destroy, it looks like we're in the middle of a skateboarding renaissance. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater takes an arcade-like approach to the world of skateboarding. The game features 10 real-life pro skaters, which have been broken up into 2 styles, vert skaters and street skaters, each having slightly different tricks. The game has various modes, including career mode, free skating, single session, and two-player mode. The object of the game's career mode is to collect videotapes. You can enter each stage as often as you like, but can only skate around for 2 minutes before having to start the stage over. Free skating lets you take a little more time to examine a level and master tricks. Single session mode is pure score competition. Two-player mode works on a vertical split screen and has 3 different modes in it. The large levels have lots of extravagant areas for combos, while the smaller levels are tightly packed with rails, ramps, and bowls. The soundtrack is filled with songs by bands like the Dead Kennedys, Goldfinger, and Primus, and the sound effects are really outstanding. The game's graphics are very good, and the camera rarely gets in the way. The game also runs at an excellent pace. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a game for skaters and non-skaters alike. Jeff Gertzman at Videogames.com gave Tony Hawk's Pro Skater an outstanding 9.3 out of 10.
Once again, you don't have to be a skateboarder to enjoy the game. Guys over here who don't even know what a skateboard is enjoy playing Pro Skater. Competing in Quake 3 multiplayer games, on the other hand, is a different story. You need strategies? Okay, you got it.
Quake 3 Arena is a game of speed and accuracy that involves a sack full of strategies. It's actually a souped-up chess match, if you can believe that. The only way to survive fierce competition, according to the top players, is to think, think, think. K9 Alcazar says players should polish their aim and learn resource management.
There's armors on the map that you have to make sure you pick up. There's weapons that you have to make sure you dominate, and a lot of it's positioning. So against all my opponents, I'm always kind of keeping timers going and making sure that I'm picking them up whenever they're available, and trying to keep resources from him at the same time.
For Cornelia, taming the power of the lightning gun is the ticket to victory in close quarter combat.
The lightning gun, if you miss, you can kind of adjust your aim while you're firing. If one of your rocket misses, then you have to wait another second and fire again. The lightning gun, you can just kind of track people.
id Software CEO Todd Hollinshead adopted a strategy shared by most of the GameSpot TV crew.
Avoid people with the railgun.
It turns out the Quake maker himself is afraid of this one particular creation.
You know, I'm just scared of the railgun people. You know, it's like you're walking around, it's like, ow, God damn it. And it's like, I can't do that at all. I can't use the railgun worth a damn.
Carmack confessed that he plays a run-and-gun type of game.
I play a fairly defensive game. Make sure that, don't jump into a battle unless, you've gone ahead and stocked up. Avoid until you pay attention, make sure you don't click and run out of ammo if you can. Get some armor before you go into a fight unless you're sure that they're wounded and you want to go after them like that. And, I don't mind running away and disengaging from a combat. I'm not necessarily in it to the death there. But that's the scary thing on the really good players. They come bounding after you and it's like you're running away and they're nailing you in the back, and it doesn't work against the great players.
I guess it's surprising to some that this seemingly mindless game requires a fair amount of thinking. But don't think too much. Practice against other players online. Quake 3 Arena servers are free.
You want to see those Quake 3 tips again, and we know you do. They'll be up on our website, along with our QuakeCon feature and a full-length interview with John Carmack. And if you want to issue a Quake 3 challenge to other gamers, go to the GameSpot TV website and post it on our message boards. Well, that's all for this week, folks. Until next time, remember, if you think you're playing too much, play more. See ya.